Happy Friday, everybody, and welcome to another brand new episode of John and Wendy Explain the World. I am John Rocha here, one of the hosts on the show, joined as always by the great Wendy Lizani. How are you, Wendy?
Hello, I am good. How are you? I missed you.
I missed you too. It's been a week. I'm excited. We've been texting back and forth, getting the show ready, but it isn't the same as like actually being in front of each other, at least in front of the camera with each other to talk about all of this stuff. Wendy, you know, when we started doing the show about 3 weeks ago, we had 4 or 5 topics. Things are ramping up this week like crazy. Already today, 2 or 3 topics that we threw in at the last minute, dropped big news items to talk about. So, you know, it feels like not only is the theater, people coming back to theaters, it feels like the studios themselves are back into full on, let's go back into entertainment mode. Let's release everything. Let's put everything in production. Don't you think?
Oh yeah, I think as you know, as far as California-wise, starting to slowly reopen more and more, and then I think we're gonna get more news like this. Production can move forward. People can, even if they've been working on things behind the scene, they can actually come out and say like casting announcements or we're gonna start production or whatever it may be. Like maybe they were holding back because they're like, well, we don't know if next week we could be shut down. Because of the pandemic. So right now things are looking at the up and up. So you just keep washing those hands and don't touch your face. We're gonna be okay.
Yeah, everybody keep washing your hands. Don't touch your face. Get vaccinated if you can. Wear the masks for sure. And thank you all so much for joining us live right off the bat. Over 20 of you joining us live right from the beginning. We appreciate it madly. Remember to hit that like button as we go on, and always remember that the Streamlabs and super chats are open for you to send in your comments and thoughts as we go along, or just your general overall support for the show. You see the Streamlab address right there in the middle above both our heads. It's also going to be pinned in the chat in just a second, but it's also in the description of this video. So if you have something you want to ask us, you want to send in through Streamlabs, feel free to use that address. Super chat takes 50% now from YouTube, so we prefer the Streamlabs, but we totally understand if you can only do super chat, that's totally fine. So we're going to, this is a new show for those of you maybe new, kind of getting on board with the show. The show is basically us talking about some topics that are going on in the world of entertainment. And then we're going to get into some trending stuff that's going on social media. And on the back half of the show, the last half an hour of the show, we're going to get into some movies that are coming out and talk about our recommendations and things that are coming up as well. And we've got a special guest who we'll announce in a little bit, who's going to be joining us to talk about those things as well. So Wendy, let's kick it off here as we start off. What is going on in the world of Black Panther?
Oh my God, everybody watch out. Move aside. Don't look them in the eye. The Dora Milaje is coming through. So we all know that we know that Black Panther, the TV series, we know that that's been in development and it's coming. And it looks like right off the top, I'll say that Disney has not commented or confirmed on this report. It was reported by Deadline, but it's looking like Danai Gurira, who famously portrayed Okoye in the Black Panther movie, will be reprising her role in the TV series, which probably means, because I want to say the show, the title is Wakanda. Like, I feel like I saw that in a report somewhere, which would totally make sense for the Dora Milaje to play a big part in it. And since we already got to see, the appearance of Ayo in, I almost said Captain Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which made no sense at all. Captain Falcon and the Winter Soldier and the White Wolf and the Captain America.
All the names.
All the names and the Dora Milaje. I think it's safe to say that we're going to see them, all of them back. So she's so far the only one in the conversation, but I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw the rest of them back, including Nakia, which you and I were talking about. The Lupita played Nakia. She technically is not a part of the Dora Milaje. I was a little confused because I was like, I remember her wearing her, she wore the armor, but she's technically like a special agent, a spy, if you will. But I just don't feel like they can do a Wakanda or Black Panther focused show without the Dora Milaje.
Yeah, I love this news. I think this is great. I've been a fan of Danai Gurira ever since she was Michonne in The Walking Dead, and when she really stepped forward as an actress and as a character in the Black Panther film, I just yes, go get it all. Next step for you. Absolutely. No surprise she was quickly leaving Walking Dead afterwards. And so to see her kind of fleshing out this role, getting the opportunity to flesh out the role a little bit more, not only in the movie sequel, but also in this TV series coming up for Disney Plus. This makes so much sense. It excites me even more. I hope we get Io. Maybe we get Nakia. We'll see overall how it all plays out. But the fact that Coogler is in charge of both is really important as well. And I think, Wendy, in this little pocket of entertainment, the idea of doing a TV show versus the movies, it doesn't exist. They are absolutely fluid, which is what Kevin Feige promised us when he said he was going to do these Disney Plus shows. So this doesn't carry the same stigma as it might be, as some people have held with TV versus film. This is absolutely an entire universe where you can appear in both situations on the Disney Plus small screen or on the big screen overall. And that's a positive in my opinion. And I like this idea because who doesn't love the Dora Milaje, Wendy? Everybody loves the Dora Milaje. They stole every scene they were in Falcon and Winter Soldier. So why wouldn't you want more with them?
Yeah, pretty much. Whenever they come through, it's just like, gosh, I remember the scene where John Walker was like, now let's just point out the pointy sticks. I'm like, no, you did not, so insultive. And she showed them, they all showed them. It's really great. And I would love to see, hopefully in this series, and I really think they have the right people and obviously involved with Ryan Coogler producing. I want to see, obviously it's not going to completely push forward the storyline of like what Black Panther 2 will be, but it's going to set up I think the inner workings of Wakanda, which we really haven't gotten to see. And I really want to see kind of the politics, the hierarchy, the different tribes that they have. And I want to see, I don't know, maybe Okoye this time she'll finally get a Starbucks in Wakanda. Do you remember her saying that? She's like, I don't know, the Olympics, maybe a Starbucks.
Yeah. And no word yet on where Letitia Wright might show up, Shuri, if she's going to show up in this Disney Plus series or just in the movie. We don't know. And of course, someone, MK Songbird, saying that there's conflicting reports that the Dora Milaje series will be a separate series. And there's also another Black Panther series, the one that was announced that Ryan Coogler was in charge of. So we'll see if it's actually their own series or folded in to this overall series that Ryan Coogler had already announced him and Kevin Feige were doing in the Marvel universe. So exciting to see, but either way, this is great that these ladies are getting a chance to get back on there and do some great work and have people fall back in love with the Dora Milaje for sure. All right, let's move on to our next thing here. It is Oscar Isaac. He has been officially confirmed. I thought we knew this already, but he's been officially confirmed to play the Moon Knight. I thought for sure we had settled this already, but apparently we hadn't. Let's take a look at his tweets. Here's the tweet. We are Moon Knight, Oscar Isaac. And there he is, very ominous looking face, but close to what you see behind them there with the Moon Knight stuff. So very exciting picture. Wendy, I love the shot. I'm a big fan of Oscar Isaac, really enjoying a Latino stepping in to play what has typically been written and drawn as a white character. So I'm excited about this, but I guess we'd seen the footage, but Marvel was like, well, no one officially confirmed it. Well, now it's officially confirmed, so we can move on with our lives, I think.
We can all breathe collectively, like our sigh of relief. It is going to be him. I mean, the man was already training. We saw, a couple of action sequences, him like working that capoeira, and I was like, wow, this looks great. Never occurred to me that at the time it was really still in talks, because to me in talks it's kind of like, okay, well, they're sending him over the script and they're having some back and forth about whatever it may be. Doesn't have the time in his schedule to do it because who knows what other projects he's involved in, and have they dotted the I's and crossed the T. And I thought that when they showed the training portion of it, that was pretty much a confirmation, because why do you spend the time and the energy to study this art, to become so masterful at it, to be like, no, I'm not going to have him do it.
I thought about it. I'm good. I'm going to step away from the situation. Exactly.
Thanks, but no thanks.
Yeah, exactly. And you saw the multiple pictures behind Oscar Isaac said in that tweet, we are Moon Knight. That kind of implies that there are multiple people living inside Mark Spector. That's how it kind of has been in the past. Certain storylines with Moon Knight, he's got he's got more than one person in there kind of controlling him, or kind of having conversations with him to make him do the things that he does. Some people accuse him of being mentally unhealthy or unstable, rather, or crazy. but he has this power, which is how he's able to become Moon Knight. So this is exciting. And we know he's only 42 years old. Oscar Isaac, as much as he's done, he's still only scratched the surface of what an incredible actor he can be. So this is a great new challenge, I think, Wendy, to see what he can do within this series. And he's going to pop up in those movies as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think once you're a MCU, once you're like inducted into the hall of the MCU superheroes, you don't leave.
Yeah.
Or you can be like Chris Evans and play two. You can be the Human Torch and Captain America if you want to. Or I guess Michael B. Jordan as well, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Was he also not the Human Torch and then Killmonger?
Yeah. Well, look, we just saw Gemma Chan, right? She's playing those two roles, so
yeah,
why not? Anything is possible in the Marvel universe.
She's not Cersei, she's Minerva.
Exactly.
She's gonna turn blue at the end of the Eternals movie. Gotcha.
Well, let's keep going with this this Marvel news. We got a couple more stories on the Marvel front. This broke recently as well for Secret Invasion here. Wendy, Christopher McDonald. People who are big Happy Gilmore fans, they know who Christopher McDonald is. He is joining the Marvel series Disney Plus, the Secret Invasion Marvel series for Disney Plus. This on the heels of Olivia Colman and Emilia Clarke being a part of this. This is setting up to be a heavy hitter of a series. And I don't know if you got a chance to read Secret Invasion, but this makes sense, the kind of people they're bringing in. And I love that Christopher McDonald is coming in. He always plays a great over-officious jerk. Is he going to be like what we got with what's his face in WandaVision? Hayward Island.
Hayward. Ugh.
Yeah, we shall see. But what do you think about this news? Do you like McDonald stepping in here and being a part of Secret Invasion?
I remember him most prominently in Happy Gilmore as a Shooter.
Shooter McGavin.
Shooter. So I'm not saying he should, be typecast in this role, but I have a lot of fun watching him in roles like that, kind of, as you said, like a little bit of like a jerk, and I'm not saying he's a jerk in real life. I'm sure he's fantastically he's super nice, but he does kind of like Ben Mendelsohn always plays like the bad guys really well, but he's like really, really nice. I want him to just have a really good time and play. We don't really know who is playing who as of yet, other than the actors who have already, who are reprising their roles, such as Ben Mendelsohn. So like with Olivia Clarke and Olivia Colman, like we're thinking, are they going to be the queen? Are they going to, we don't know. And so with Christopher McDonald, I'm curious as to which role he'll play. Is it going to be more of like the Hayward kind of sword agent type of deal? Or is he going to be a Skrull, which I would rather him be a Skrull.
Yeah. Is he a shapeshifter? Yeah, you can see that. Absolutely. It's said, according to Deadline, details about the role are being kept under wraps. This is from Nelly Andreeva. I hope I said that right. But she hears it is a newly created character that could cross over to the larger MCU, including appearing in movies and other Disney Plus limited series. A rep for Marvel declined to comment. So what do you think about that? It could be we've seen this with Martin
like another
Freeman.
Coulson.
Yes, we've seen with Clark Gregg and Agent Coulson. So do you think this is another like kind of connective tissue character that they're using? Will this be a member of S.H.I.E.L.D. or Sword maybe that steps into this situation? What do you think?
I mean, whoever he would be, whether it's S.H.I.E.L.D. or Sword, probably more S.H.I.E.L.D. Maybe he is working a little bit close with Nick Fury there. That would be really interesting for someone like him to serve as the connective tissue in both TV and film. And even if he just shows up at the end of, like, say, the Wakanda TV series and just, arrives in Wakanda and says a couple of words, and then we lead that into Black Panther 2 movie and then have him show up then, or just even have his name mentioned. I think that would be really cool. And that's what I really liked about having Coulson in the movies for a really long time before they did him in, that he served as that connective issue in, I think, is a really smart way of setting up the MCU in the very beginning, from Iron Man all the way to like the Hulk and whatever order it was in. And I kind of have missed that a little bit. And I know the MCU at this point is really far established. Like we have 20 plus movies, 10 years of story arcs and characters. So we don't necessarily need another Coulson, but I do think this may be the way where they bridge the TV show and the movies a little bit. And I think it's going to be a bonus for the audience that tune into both. So like, I know Marvel Feige specifically said he didn't want the audience to feel like they have to have watched a TV show in order to understand the movie.
Yeah.
So I don't think this is kind of like a marketing, like, gotcha, you got to now subscribe to Disney Plus so you can understand the connective tissue. But I think it'll serve as a bonus and it'll help the story flow a little bit more.
Yeah, and a veteran actor like this, Wendy, as you mentioned, you know him from Shooter McGavin. That's way back in the 90s. You know, he has worked consistently in so many other films and TV shows and done multiple arcs on separate TV shows with storylines just attributed to him. Someone mentioned, I think it was Smithy, mentioned how he was Thelma's husband in Thelma and Louise. So we've seen him play. We've seen him play all these different roles throughout the history of his career. Hell, I remember him in Breakin', the original Breakin' from the 1980s. He is kind of not the villain necessarily, but a little bit the antagonist who gets persuaded to be on the side of the heroes in that movie. That's how long Christopher McDonald has been working in this business, and he's always great. He's got a fantastic voice, and he's got that look of a government official. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's in the mold of Coulson and Martin Freeman's character, Everett Ross, as well in this situation. So exciting to see him being a part of this Marvel universe, and certainly Secret Invasion. Whenever they start shooting this, I want to see some footage as soon as possible. You guys know it's a great, great series for sure. All right, just a quick reminder before we move on to our next story here, Wendy. Ladies and gentlemen, please send in your Streamlabs, Super Chats. You got any questions? You got anything you want to ask us? And as we're going along, if you're a fan of what we're doing here with the show, please feel free to subscribe to the channel, the Outlaw Nation channel there down below. Hit that subscribe button, hit the bell so you know when we're dropping new content here on the channel. All right, Wendy, where shall we go next?
Let's talk a little bit more. It's not really Marvel. I guess it's really Sony.
It's Marvel adjacent, maybe?
Yes, it's Marvel adjacent, which is why we put it in the next story. But you guys, it looks like we have Kraven the Hunter cast, and we have Aaron Taylor-Johnson to play. I almost said Anya Taylor-Joy because I was watching her SNL stuff right before we came on. But Aaron Taylor-Johnson,
I'm all for it.
I mean, if she wants to, that girl can do anything. Yeah. But we're gonna get a Kraven the Hunter, not just an appearance, not just a role to appear in like a Spider-Verse type movie, a solo movie that I believe is going to debut sometime, I think early 2023. John, what did you think of the casting choice? Because I love Aaron Taylor-Johnson. I really don't think he gets enough work in Hollywood, but I kind of just looking at the comic books, depiction of Kraven the Hunter, and then I kind of look at Aaron Taylor-Johnson and I went, oh, that's interesting. So I kind of been wanting to hear your thoughts on that.
Well, I will say this. I initially was like, what? Isn't he Quicksilver? Are they going to try to work that out? No,
he went bye-bye.
But he went bye-bye, right? Exactly. We saw that in the MCU. So, okay, now you're going to bring him in to kind of be MCU adjacent with this situation as Kraven the Hunter. Look, Kraven the Hunter is my favorite Spider-Man villain. You can take Hobgoblin, you can take Green Goblin on out of here, take Rhino on out of here. Kraven the Hunter is my guy. The accent, the look, not many people can put off leopard leggings as a man, and he pulls them off really, really well with the slippers, no less, and the vest of lion's mane that he wears. That's fantastic. So I've always been a fan of Kraven. So I thought they might start going towards the Keanu Reeves route, a little bit older route, kind of mess with a younger Spider-Man. But when they said Aaron Taylor-Johnson, I was like, oh, actually, that's not a bad idea. If you remember him in Tenet, he is huge now.
Oh, that's true.
Right? He's gotten big. And so that kind of lends itself to an intimidating villain, a Kraven who's hunting down Spider-Man. There's so many great storylines with Kraven and Spider-Man in the comics. I think it's The Last Great Hunt or The Great Hunt, The Last Hunt, whatever it is. That was a fantastic storyline with him and Kraven. And so to me, this actually kind of works now because he's not too young and he's not too old. He's in that middle area perfectly where he can give as good as he gets from Tom Holland, kind of like Jake Gyllenhaal did as Mysterio. So to me, I like this as a standalone film. And if they pair him up with Spider-Man or put him in a Sinister Six, which is what it seems like it's heading towards, it'll work overall as they put this entire team together for sure. So I like the idea very, very much. And I think it's it's going to be fun to see what Aaron Taylor Johnson can do. And by the way, this is his third superhero film, right? Because you've got Age of Ultron and Kick-Ass, exactly. So, what did
we count Godzilla as a? Well, it's not really superhero.
Yeah, not really superhero, but
also starring Elizabeth Olsen, but as his wife, not sister. As his
What's
wife.
going to happen? The first time they run into each other is her as Wanda and him as Kraven. If they make the crossover, what's going to happen?
She's going to say, "I know you," and then it'll flash to a different universe, different timeline. Pietro Part 2. But you were right about Aaron Taylor Johnson. Yes, he's played superheroes before, but I don't think he's done a villain yet. And I think he could have a lot of fun in this role. I think for me, partially, when I look at kind of the comic book version of Kraven, my mind, because I apparently don't have imagination when it comes to casting, is I think Momoa, because of the fur and the long hair. Sure. As another actor couldn't wear a coat and grow their hair out or like put on a wig, you know. So I gotta get a little bit more imaginative when it comes to things like this, but I know I'm happy for him. I think he doesn't get enough work, so this will be great to see how it turns out. And you're right, he got pretty beefy for Tenet, so I almost didn't recognize him. I feel like in Tenet I had to keep reminding myself, I'm like, the same guy, Kick-Ass.
A lot of people felt that way when they saw him, like, wait, is that Aaron Taylor Johnson? Holy shit. So so you're getting a big guy. So we'll see how. For me, I'll see the casting is great, and I'm all for it, right? But you got to get the story right, Wendy. Right? I'm not the biggest fan of the first Venom film. The trailer for Venom 2 looked like basically kind of like the same stuff with a little bit of differences to them. So you the Mobius trailer was good, but we don't know what we're gonna get. Sorry, that's a movie, and so what are we gonna get here for Kraven the Hunter? Are we going to get a really great story that's based on something out of the comics, or is this going to be a wholly original story that they're going to spin for his origin story? If you guys know the origin of Kraven, it's a tough upbringing for sure, but he's a cocky guy. So this will be fascinating to see what Aaron Taylor Johnson does with it for sure.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun for him. He's gonna be like he can be like a jerk on set, not to people, just as his character. Like he gets to. I'm sure some of the lines are kind of quippy and fun. So I can't wait. I like that they are with all these announcements like Kraven, Morbius, Sinister Six, and all that. Like we're starting to expand that universe a little bit more. So I want to be patient. I'm very excited for Venom 2. I'm very excited to see Carnage and see how Woody Harrelson does with Cletus Cassidy. Right?
Yeah, with
Cletus?
Carnage.
Yeah. So we will see. Man, lots of casting news here.
Oh, absolutely. And this one's going to drop January 13th, 2023. They already have a release date for this one, Wendy. It's about a year and a half away. It's not that long away. Yeah.
Yeah, that means they're I feel like they're feeling kind of solid.
Yeah.
In their casting choice and probably the story and just, little changes here and there as they move forward. But to have a pin down like January 13th, I think they're confident. That makes me happy. That means they have a plan.
Yeah. JC Shandor will be directing the film on this one. And according to Deadline, the insiders say that Taylor Johnson came to the studio executives' attention after they watched the dailies for his upcoming action film Bullet Train with Brad Pitt, where he plays one of the main assassins in the film. And according to one source, his scenes with Brad Pitt were so impressive that the studio acted fast to get him on the phone with Shandor to make sure they had chemistry as a director and actor to be able to bring this thing to light. So seems like a lot of positive things are lining up for this overall, Wendy, that I think will lead to hopefully a damn good movie.
I think that means we're going to have to watch Bullet Train.
Yeah, when it comes out. Absolutely.
Absolutely. I want to see if it's kind of like if that can give me an idea of how I think they'll take which direction they're going to take the Kraven movie. And how he what was it about his performance that captured their attention? That's like, get that guy in the door right now.
Yeah. I'm excited too. I love any action film, and you put it on a train. You got me. You got me. Snowpiercer, Runaway Train,
Train to Busan.
Murder on the Orient Express, Train to Busan. I'm all here for it. I don't think I've seen a bad train film. Even Under Siege 2 was all right on the train. So
that's true. That's true.
Right? That was on a train. That wasn't a bad sequel.
Well, there you go.
A young Katherine Heigl in that.
You want a movie to be good? Put your actors on a train.
Just put them on a train. It's rare to mess up a train movie. I'm telling you.
Can't mess it up.
The Great Train Robbery. Those were both good. Anyway, so we'll see what happens with that. It's coming, as I said, January 2023. All right, Wendy, I'm tossing you on this one and the beefy pecs of what we got coming up next. What do we got?
The beefy pecs. I think we should, continue to talk about casting because it's casting popping left and right. So let's talk the one and only Highlander to be played by Henry Cavill, no other than Henry Cavill. So this is going to be a reboot under the direction of Chad Stahelski. You know him from the John Wick movies. This is, for me, really exciting because I think for a long time, the kind of rumor of like, we're going to, Hollywood wants to do another updated Highlander, like, let's bring it back. And I kept on thinking, like, who would I want to see in this role? And it's like, I can plug actors in, but I never felt like it was the right fit. So for a while, for me, I was thinking, well, maybe that's just like, you don't mess with the original. Like, it was good. It was, it fit back then, and we just watched the DVDs and, let that be that. And then they said, well, how about Henry Cavill? And I went, oh, okay. Especially having seen Henry Cavill in The Witcher.
Yeah.
I want to say that seeing him in that, I think really opened up his, not castability, but I think for some people, you see him as the iconic Clark Kent / Superman, and he gets kind of like stuck in that. Yeah. It's kind of like cleaner cut Superman, like iconic superhero, most popular superhero, probably, like, especially to the general audience. But then you put him in The Witcher and you see him with that sword and, the dirt on the face and the gritty hair and makeup. And I'm just like, yes, Highlander. I can see it. I can see him with the long hair, with the fur coat and with the giant, with the giant broadsword. I can see it all.
Yeah, this is the time. Really, this is the time for Henry Cavill, isn't it? I mean, they just announced that he's coming back as Sherlock Holmes for an Enola Holmes sequel. That's a positive. He just, he was, of course, in Man of Steel a few years ago. Then a Mission Impossible franchise, and The Witcher has been received really, really well from the fans overall. Second season he's in the production of right now. So him stepping in to play Highlander, I love this. And it, there's a bittersweetness to it because I think it's very clear that he's never coming back to play Superman again unless they mess around with storylines and some sort of Flashpoint paradox maybe. But this pretty much means he's moving on as he's latching on to these other franchises. And normally when you start to talk to me about an 80s reboot, I'm just like, oh, please, no, let it live. It wasn't that long ago, for God's sakes. But I start to hesitate. But with Highlander, I love this idea because I'll tell you this, ladies and gentlemen. I know some of you love that movie. I know some of you are big fans of that movie, and I totally respect it, and I understand, and it spawned 4 sequels and 3 TV series, but I am not the biggest fan of that movie. But I like the character. I like the idea of that movie. So having someone like Henry Cavill come into the situation would be great. But do me a favor. If you're going to bring back the Spaniard, the Sean Connery character, make sure he's from Spain. This guy was not Scottish. He's literally called the Spaniard. So please make sure you cast a Latino in that role, for God's sake.
Who would you cast?
Oh,
are you going to say Oscar Isaac?
An older Latino.
I mean, he's so good. He's just too busy.
He's kind of too busy. And who are you looking at when you're sharing the screen between two of the guys? Connery at the time when he was helping Christopher Lambert in the movie, Connery is at the tail end of his, leading man status as an older leading man there in the 80s. So who do you slide in? What about? Oh no, I guess you can't do that. I was
how old? How old would he be?
He'd have to be.
Well, I guess we don't know,
20?
Right?
Well, it depends. 20 to 30 years older than the Highlander. So I'm not sure what Latino actors are out there that I've seen that can handle that kind of weight. Maybe Banderas. Banderas could be. She's actually from Spain.
Literally what I was thinking.
Yeah, he's from Spain.
He's done Zorro. He can do all this. He's still got it.
Exactly. I like Andrew Valdez says cast Anya Taylor-Joy. She can play anything. That's for sure. Anya Taylor-Joy.
She's Latina, isn't she?
She is Latina. Absolutely. Yeah. Spanish is her first language, as people found out on SNL. So, yeah, I could see that. That would be great. So, I'm down. I'd be down to see Antonio Banderas. I am the Spaniard. I'd love to see him go there and talk to him about there can be only one. I'm all for it. I'm a big fan of this.
Oh gosh, that'd be great. That'd be great.
So, yeah, Oscar Isaac's the obvious choice, but I like Antonio.
Not just as Danny Trejo. Trejo would be Trejo was so intimidating. I feel like he's the nicest person.
Yeah.
But like he's just like he speaks. I'm like, I'm sorry. I don't know. I'm scared of you.
Well, man, I was in Pelican Bay, man. You don't want to mess around with a guy who was in Pelican Bay. No thanks. No thanks. I don't care if he's Egyptian. They say he's a Spaniard. And even if he is Egyptian, Sean Connery's Scottish. So hell, if you're going to get an Egyptian actor, then I'm all for it there. Oiduka Vitamin. I hope I said that right. But I appreciate your comment very, very much. But yeah, but I like this. This is, I mean, I'm such a fan of Henry Cavill. He's such a strikingly good-looking dude. But I also like his work as an actor, right? I mean, I think that's really important, don't you think, Wendy?
Yeah, and I feel like he's becoming one of these actors, these stars that people feel comfortable. The studios feel very comfortable of having him lead a franchise. You know, Superman. Yeah. He's been in the Mission Impossible franchise, Witcher. What else am I forgetting? Is that it?
Man from Uncle.
Man from Uncle. Oh,
Mission Impossible. Superman.
Pumping arms.
So many things. Yeah,
that was great.
Moment.
So I think he's a force to be reckoned with, and you know, as much as I want him to continue on to play Superman more, because I feel like that was so short-lived.
Yeah,
you know, it's true. Like Man of Steel, BVS, Justice League, done. Like I thought we were gonna see like 4 or 5 films from him as Superman. I really, really did, and who knows, we still could. I don't know. I don't want to give up hope. But I also think that this is a chance for him to really flex that acting muscle and getting to play as many characters as he wants.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what you want to see him do for sure. If people aren't going to, if it's clear that Warner Brothers is not going to cast him as Superman or bring him back as Superman, that's the situation there. So yeah, much power to Henry. Let's see if we've got any stream. Okay, we got one Streamlab that's come through. Ladies and gentlemen, please send in support for the show. Streamlab super chats would be greatly appreciated. Streamlab's address is right above Wendy's head. Oh, I forgot to put in the chat. I'll do that after I get Wendy's thoughts on this question.
They're like, how can we do it? Where do we go?
Bleedy Green says, so with Moon Knight entering the MCU and Blade coming, what do you think the chances are that we see Werewolf by Night? Moon Knight first appeared in a Werewolf by Night comic, and the chances to see the Midnight Suns come into the MCU would be awesome. So, yeah, Wendy, what do you think about this?
I'm not as familiar with the whole Moon Knight storyline, so I'm kind of curious as to that entire kind of expanding my universe to that. Just when I first heard the description of Moon Knight, I was like, wait, what is this? This is so interesting. Dustin was very excited because he's read the comics. Yeah. I don't think we have it. I think you have it because I think you've shown me like the cover before.
Yeah.
I do see that. I see that Eternals on your shelf there. The bookshelves are back. Yeah. Neil Gaiman. I just ordered that it's on my Kindle so I can read
it. Oh, cool.
Yeah. I just did 1 through 7.
These will be going away for darker bookcases. I think the darker bookcase is the better way to go for me personally. But yeah, go ahead.
Why don't you stain them? Can you? Too much work.
It's cheaper just to buy some new ones.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's too much work. As soon as I said it, I'm like, no, it's too much. I wouldn't do it.
I know my girlfriend's like, you got to sand them down, then you get to stain them. I'm like, nope. I'm just gonna buy some new ones. Just stop talking.
Repurpose them. Put them elsewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, as far as that question goes, I don't know that storyline and universe as much right now yet. I haven't started my studies into it, so I don't feel like I can answer that to the best of my ability, but I would love to learn a little bit more. But from what it sounds like, it sounds really intriguing.
Yeah, I mean, the Midnight Suns have been a number of characters. You've had Morbius, you've had Werewolf by Night, Johnny Blaze, Ghost Rider being a part of it, Doctor Strange has been a part of this crew, Black Cat, Blade, certainly Iron Fist, which I think they're going to find a way to bring back Iron Fist in some way that's more palatable for people down the road. Moon Knight and Punisher.
Not the TV show?
No, not the TV show. No, not the TV show. No, I think they might actually. I mean, I don't listen. As far as Iron Fist goes, I like Iron Fist. I have a number of comics. I like the Immortal Iron Fist, Danny Rand. I like that idea, but I do get it that some people don't want to see a white guy kind of co-opt Asian culture. Totally respect that. So maybe they'll go the other route and have an Asian gentleman play or Asian actor play.
I just didn't love the show.
Yeah, the show was.
That's kind of my hesitation on them bringing that whole thing back. It's kind of like, well, I gave I gave it its 2 seasons. Didn't it have 2 seasons? I tried
Yeah, it
watching the
did, I
second one.
think, yeah,
Second one was a
yeah.
little bit better, but I was still like, well, I'm still not invested.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll be a ways away, and I feel like you got to get Ghost Rider if you're going to do Midnight Suns there, Bleeding
Yeah.
Green. So Ghost Rider's got to get introduced as well. So when that starts to happen, I think we can slowly build up. But what a crazy world we might be living in if a few years down the road we have a Midnight Suns a TV series, a Disney Plus TV series. Wouldn't that be crazy? So
that's a stacked cast right there. You're
Right?
talking a lot of named, like big
yeah.
A-listers
Yeah,
in this.
Cumberbatch,
Wow.
Oscar Isaac at this point right now. Once Mahershala Ali becomes Blade, and then like they were saying here, so much could happen with the Midnight Suns for sure, and put it all together. So we shall see. For sure, yeah. Midnight Suns would make my head explode. Yes, exactly. It would. I know. But who thought Guardians of the Galaxy was going to be on screen? Who thought Eternals? Who thought Eternals was going to come? So you just never know what can happen when they put it together. All right, and let's see. We got any more Streamlabs super chats? All right, I'm gonna go. I think I put it in the chat. So if you guys want to send in some support for the show or any questions for what we're talking about, please feel free to do so. All right, Wendy, where are we off to next?
Let me take a look. We are on to. Let's talk a little bit. Since we're kind of action packed here, let's talk a little Cobra Kai.
Oh,
Cobra Kai. Sorry, that's Thundercats. Cobra Kai season 4 announced, and Terry Silver.
Yeah.
Terry Silver, bringing the pain in Cobra Kai season 4. Can you believe this show got a 4th season? Remember? Back when it was first announced, it was a YouTube Red or YouTube something original, which I don't even think YouTube is that still a thing. I don't know.
Yes, it is.
But
it's
I remember
just not called YouTube Red. Yeah,
it's like you just YouTube Original or something like that.
Yeah,
now.
something like that.
But they moved off the YouTube platform, and then Netflix is like, oh, we'll happily be more than happy to develop and have this on Netflix. And now we're getting season 4. This show. Like, even if you didn't grow up with the Karate Kid, you're gonna still be invested, because I think they do a really good job of not needing the audience to watch all the Karate Kids movies. Which, by the way, you probably should, because they're fun, they're great, and they're like good 80s, 90s
yes,
movies.
80s. Yeah,
I don't even remember because it's forever ago. But like I'm just so happy that for the fans and for the show that we are getting a season 4 and that we keep bringing back characters. It's kind of like, are we going to get them? We don't know. Yeah, we got them. I think that's really fantastic. I'm still a little bit behind. So this is a bit of like a spoiler to me, because I feel like the show season 3 had maybe like hinted at this.
Not really.
Oh, okay.
There was maybe right at the end, maybe a little bit of an illusion, but you had to have been really deep into the lore to maybe catch that. But I think where I got the hint is where they had the, what was the one that Josh Gad, that show that he had where he would bring people together from older shows to talk about stuff.
Right. Yeah.
He was bringing the pop culture reunion in some way.
Yeah,
but he did that for the Cobra Kai cast, and brought in like all the people from Karate Kid, of course, Machio and Elizabeth Shue and William Zabka and all of them. And then Thomas Ian Nicholas made an appearance. And that was where they announced that Terry Silver was going to come back into season 4. And this is an interesting situation for sure, Wendy, because Karate Kid Part 3 is where it kind of started falling apart, that franchise. And Machio treats, Daniel LaRusso treats Miyagi pretty terribly throughout that movie, as he tries to kind of get rid of Miyagi and move towards a more, he almost becomes a Cobra Kai practitioner without knowing it in the movie. And Thomas Ian Nicholas, you find out, is working with Martin Kove and working with Cobra Kai to undercut Daniel, and he discovers that later. But a lot of people felt that it was a bit cheesy, that Thomas Ian Nicholas, kind of overdid his part. And so I wonder if bringing him back into this situation will be a way of redeeming Karate Kid Part 3, because there are not a lot of people that defend that movie. And of course, after that movie, we got the next Karate Kid, and a number of people have been speculating if we're going to get a Hilary Swank cameo or appearance, because remember, she's been doing a lot of stuff for Netflix, Wendy.
Oh my God, I would. It didn't even cross my mind until you just said it. Yes, please.
Right.
Oh my God, that would be amazing. Watch that be like the end of season 4.
I think
season
so.
4.
She's going to show
and then we get a
somehow
season 5.
Yep.
Oh my, that would be great. Even if it's just a 1-episode cameo, she doesn't even not need to return. That would be amazing. Right. That would seriously be really great. And I love the little teaser that they put here.
Yes. The look of
with the ponytail and everything, and the in the voiceover, like if a man can't stand, he can't fight. This watching this show, it's just kind of like walking down memory lane for me. I remember the first episode, it was so weird because now they're grown. You see them, you're like, are they still doing karate? What's going on? But then the show is, I mean, it's about them, but then it's not about them.
Right. It's about the kids. Right. Exactly.
Yeah. So it's kind of passing the torch, but the grudge and the relationship is still there. I think what makes me a little sad when I watch Cobra Kai, though, is to know that like Mr. Miyagi, we won't ever see him return in this one, which is really unfortunate. But, I think his memory lives on. Every time I watch an episode, I'm like, oh, think about it. Wax on, wax off.
And here's what I'll say to you, and I guess I should be a little more clear, because if you haven't seen season 3, there is in the finale an illusion. You have to know the name Terry Silver. When you hear the name Terry Silver and how they show it in the movie or in the show, the relationship with him and Martin Cove, John Kreese, then you'll know why these two have such a strong connection. So that's going to be very, very interesting. John Hurwitz said you could guess who might have been on the other. He said he was grilled by EW, the Cobra Kai producers, about the speculation earlier this year about him coming back, Terry Silver. And John Hurwitz, the producer, said you could guess who might have been on the other end of the call based off the photo that he was looking at there, but we can't really speak to how Terry Silver would respond to that call, or whoever was on the other end of the line would respond to that call. I think you'll have to see if that character returns in season 4. And of course, he's talking about John Kreese in present day at the end of season 3, placing a call. And a lot of people speculating that he's calling Terry Silver. So the production is wrapped on this one already, Wendy. So we got that 23-second teaser. So this should be coming very, very soon down the road here. And of course, it's on Netflix now. So people loved it. It got great numbers on Netflix season 3.
I'm just so happy for the cast and for the crew that's working on the show, because when it was going away, I was like, oh man. And I believe I want to say it was kind of like it was going to be like the last season or something like that, right? Or was it YouTube looking to sell it? I can't remember exactly how it happened, but I'm happy that whatever happened that needed to happen, so that Cobra Kai landed over at Netflix, because I think they were able to do so much more for this show than YouTube could have, because of just the different type of platforms. I'm not saying YouTube can't produce great shows. Obviously, they did Cobra Kai, but I think Netflix is like it feels like they came home. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people felt like it was always a Netflix show anyway. So to see it go to Netflix wasn't that big of a surprise for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. And we'll see. And there's no announcement yet on when they're dropping. I don't think it said it at the end of the teaser when they're dropping the show. So just be careful for that and look out for that and see when it's drumming. It's saying now the real pain begins. Cobra Kai season 4, and it doesn't tell you when, so it'll be coming soon. Sweep the leg, Johnny. All right, let's jump into this. Let's jump into a couple more topics here, or maybe one more topic here. The trailer for Old was released here, Wendy, from M. Night Shyamalan. And of course, M. Night Shyamalan, some responses to Glass weren't so positive, but overall, people were happy to have M. Night Shyamalan back in their lives. His show on Apple TV Plus seems to have been doing well. Orphan, I think it's called. So what do you think about the trailer? We watched it. I watched it just before we started the show. What was your feeling about this trailer overall? With Vicky Krieps, Gabriel Garcia Luna, Alex
Servant.
Wolf, and Thomason McKenzie. Yeah, I'm thinking, what? Servant? Right? What's that?
The Apple TV
Servant.
show?
Servant. Sorry about that.
What did you say?
Thank you, everybody. Servant. I said Orphan. That's a separate horror show. Don't trust me.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah. So talk to me. What did you think?
I feel like, even though I know I have to kind of tread carefully when I walk into a Shyamalan movie, because you don't know what the twist, and ultimately you can be having a great time in the movie, and then the twist happens, you're like, oh, I don't like the movie anymore. But with that said, his trailers are always really good. Whoever cuts his trailer, whoever does his trailer,
my Lord, you're right.
It always makes me so intrigued where I'm like, I can't wait to see this movie. And then kind of like The Happening, I'm like, I can't wait to see this movie. And then I go into the movie, I'm like, no, I hate this movie. I don't like it at all. I don't want to see it ever again. So with that said, I find the premise kind of interesting. I'm trying to think, what is it about? Is it the island? Is it the water? What is it exactly about that beach, that mysteriously and a beautiful beach, making it seems like time for humans specifically is moving forward a little really, really fast, especially for the kids. The kids grow up at a rapid pace. We get to see Alex Wolf in this, who always does this like frightened, tortured kind of a character really, really well. Like as we saw in what's that movie that does this?
Jumanji? No.
Nope.
What are you talking about? Okay.
Tony Collette.
Hereditary. Hereditary.
Yes, where she was doing that with her thing. I don't want to say just in case people haven't watched it yet. It's a pivotal scene. But yeah, he does that like tortured, half crying, really, really well. Like so talented. So the second that I saw him on screen, I'm like, yes, sold. I will approach this film with caution, knowing how I feel about certain Shyamalan films and their twists. Okay. I feel like I haven't really seen a good Shyamalan film since. Okay, let's see. There was I would say the last one I actually enjoyed was The Visitor.
Yes, right.
I thought that was okay, and they didn't like slap his name on it, very prominently, because it was like after was like the devil or the elevator. It was like that one that wasn't great.
Oh yeah.
And devil, then we will never forgive Airbender. And then I didn't like The Happening. I thought Lady in the Water was all right. So yeah, it's so, but there's a couple of good films that under his belt, and I think he has really great ideas. Just I think sometimes the twist becomes like the main attraction to this films as opposed to focusing on the full story.
Right.
But I am very curious about this movie, and I actually can't wait to see it because I want to find out what is it. Right. I hope I'm not mad when I find out. I hope it's not The Happening sort of a thing. Like it's plants. Yeah. They're angry. It's the sea creatures. They're angry. They're taking your life away.
They're angry at the sea creatures. Pay attention to that. Yeah, I liked the trailer. I thought it was cool. I mean, you got visuals like this, Rufus Sewell's face falling apart here. Great to see Rufus Sewell doing some stuff there in terms of horror. But I love the cast. Vicky Krieps, of course, from Phantom Thread. Then you got Gabriel Garcia Luna from Y Tu Mama También, and so many other great films that he's been a part of. I think Rudo y Cursi was his film as well. And then you've got Alex Wolff, and then Thomason, who we talk about already glowingly. I've interviewed him a couple times. Nice dude. Just a big fan of that Wolff family, both him and his brother, in the stuff that they're doing as actors. And then you throw in Thomasin McKenzie, who is, we saw her in that Last Night in Soho trailer earlier this week as well. She was in Jojo Rabbit. She was in, what is that film? No One Left Behind, or something like the one with Ben Foster. So certainly great stuff to see her stepping into this role. And of course, like you said, Shyamalan, it's all going to depend on the twist. Certainly, it's very clear that this beach ages people, and you need to find out why. And will it be so? Because once you climb all the way up on that tightrope, Wendy, the fall is pretty long. So you want to make sure you don't fall off. And Shyamalan has fallen off a few times over the last 15 years. So yeah. So
I think this is going to be okay. I think with Shyamalan, with his universes, and I think that's why The Visitor worked really well, because it was contained to one location. Yeah. And it wasn't broad, like, going all over the place and we got to do this and that. And so I'm hoping that it seems like, he's in the trailer, it's making it sound like the characters, they can try and leave the beach, right? But you really can't, because, you saw the one girl trying to climb up that ledge, and then they were, maybe she passed out, blacked out. I think you get to this point and then you black out and you have to turn back. Right. So I think when he has a great idea, but you kind of keep it a little bit more contained for him so he can work within that. Well, I guess he's probably writing his own story too. I think that's what works best, to keep it a little bit more intimate. So I'm very curious, because we know not everybody on that beach is going to survive. You can already see like a couple of people have already met their end in the trailer. So I just want to find out exactly the cause. And I really, really hope I am like invested and I'm okay with the twist. I'm worried. I'm worried. Like, I'm liking the trailer a lot. It's very intriguing. I'm like, I want to see it, but I'm worried that I'm going to be disappointed by the twist. Right.
Yeah. We'll see for sure. Yeah. But yeah, that's coming out really, really soon. What did we say when that one's coming out? I don't have the thing.
It just says coming soon. Hold on.
So coming soon.
I will hold. And I also heard, that I think I'm wrong, but this was gonna be like
July
like a
23rd,
digital.
2021 right now. So, a digital one.
I
Okay.
think
Okay.
I don't maybe I'm confusing it for another movie.
Okay. Well,
But
it's
I
saying it's
thought
going
I
to be
read
released July
somewhere.
23rd. So it's
Nice.
around the corner.
I feel like if they're gonna do it in July, they're gonna put this in theaters. I don't know
Yeah.
where I read specifically that I thought it was gonna be like digital release only, but maybe that was something else that I was thinking of.
Well, yeah, it was set to be released on in February of 2020 of this year, but now it was pushed to July because they do want to take advantage of dropping this thing in a theater and having the communal experience of horror with his film.
Yeah,
So no surprise,
yeah,
Wendy, at all.
exactly.
For sure. All right, let's see here. What else have we got? All right, yeah. So this Rangers, anything we need to say about this Rangers of the New Republic story? I think a lot of people have already talked about it.
Yeah.
Any thoughts you want to throw in before we move on to a really cool video you've got?
Well, I think it's kind of just really to touch on it quickly. Last week, we literally talked about like, do we think you asked me specifically Rangers of the Republic, like, now that she's out of the picture,
Yeah.
Disney is no longer working with, or she's not on under contract anymore.
Right.
Would they just shift the focus to someone else? And I was like, oh yeah, they probably will, because they literally have other characters that they could focus on, or just bring in a new character or whatever. And I think it was, I think an hour after our show ended last Friday, this news dropped, and I'm like, oh, come on. We just talked about this. But I will say, no longer in active development is not the same as being canceled. So this is tabled for now, and they're just going to find another way to pivot. And I think there's plenty of things that they can do for Rangers of the New Republic. They're just going back to the drawing board. And I mean, they could essentially, can it forever, and they can just leave it on the table forever. But I feel like now is the time for them to focus on the other stuff that they've got going on: Obi-Wan, Ahsoka, Andor, all that stuff. And then they can circle back to this when they're ready. So I'm not super surprised at this. It just, I had hoped that maybe it wasn't 100% just going to focus on a singular character, but it seemed like that was the case, because they enjoyed working with her and they liked her character. Was a cool character.
Yes.
So I can see why, but then what happened. So now we'll see how, if they choose to pivot, or they choose to just like put it back on the table for a longer time.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Absolutely, we shall see for sure. All right, let's move on. Okay, so I think that's all the topics in the top part of the show, ladies and gentlemen. We're moving into the back half of the show here, and we've got some fun things to talk about in terms of the trending segment of our show. And I'll let Wendy take it away on this one. Wendy, what are we moving into?
If it's not K-pop, it's not trending for me. K-pop only. It's K-pop hour with Wendy and John. Because BTS have recently just released their new single, Butter. It also timed with the Billboard Awards and like the summer, and then they were teaming up with McDonald's. There's a whole BTS meal, which we'll get into. But they debuted their song, and then they performed it on the Billboard Awards. They've also received 4 Billboard Awards this year. Let me just pull up the thing. They won top duo or group for top social artist, top song sales artist, and top selling song. 4 awards. And in comparison to the last couple of years in their billboards, they only won, I think, 2 in 2020 for top duo or group and social artist, and then 2019 for the same. But this time, top song sales and top selling song, which totally makes sense. Like, I think the second anything BTS drops, the army goes and they'll buy it, they'll stream it, they'll do whatever they need to do to support, their favorite band. And I think everything is just timed perfectly. The song Butter was performed not only on the Billboard Awards, but it was also performed on the Stephen Colbert show. And then they just did another one that was recent for Good Morning America.
Yes,
they did it for that, and they did a little remix for Dynamite. So it was just really fun to see them whenever they drop a new single and all the marketing comes out. It's really great. I think the group is so talented. I just don't know how you can move and sing like that and without sounding like you're out of breath. Maybe they're not human. They're aliens from another planet. That's why they're so good at everything, like visual 100%, song, performance, dance, endurance 100%. I'm like, how are you that good? How? Style 100%. So with that said, because we're all riding the BTS wave, McDonald's did a collab with the BTS meal, which we also talked about last week. So Dustin and I actually woke up early on the day of the release. I said I was going to do this on the 26th. It was 10:30 a.m. and I was like, Dustin, let's go to McDonald's and get them chicken nugget meals. So I put together a little mini vlog and a little taste test. It's just like about like a 4-minute clip of us, trying out the said BTS meal, and then we'll talk about why the U.S. BTS fans, the army fans here, are disappointed with this McDonald's meal.
Oh, okay. All right. Let's take a look at this. See if I can get this right. Adding it to the stream. All right.
Hi, can I get 2 of the BTS meals? Awesome, thank you.
Let me check the brand down.
We just ordered the BTS meal. One for Dustin, one for me. Who are we? What is this? We got the BTS meal. This is what we came for. It's a sweet chili and the Cajun sauce, and they also gave us so the bag was regular, which is why we didn't film her handing it over to us, but they did give us the BTS bags, and it looks like that. Got the bags.
Nice. Okay,
we're gonna go ahead and try out our BTS McDonald's meal. BTS, you guys know, K-pop powerhouse. They just won 4 Billboard awards. They have a new song, Butter, that's out. Butter, smooth like butter. So of course they have a collab with McDonald's, which is technically just a 10-piece chicken nuggets meal with a medium Coke and medium fries. And what's cool is that you get 2 different dipping sauces. One is a sweet chili pepper and the other one is Cajun. And also they didn't even put the food in this because I think they know that the fans will probably want to like frame it. I'm not gonna frame it, but I will keep it because I'm not ARMY, even though I am a fan. But this is what the BTS McDonald's bag looks like, and that is the cover. And we have the nuggets and we have the sauces. So we're gonna try it right here live on the live stream for you guys. So here are the sauces. Okay, so there we go. We have the sweet chili and we have the Cajun, which I'm super excited for. So we're gonna bust these open and try them on air for you guys. It's like live movie couple eats right here. Ooh, that's it smells like this got a kick to it.
Whoa. Oh yeah, that's definitely got some chili in there.
This one's less spicy smelling, but it's got a fire symbol.
I don't know if you can kind of tell, but yeah, it's kind of like that barbecue looking kind of coloration to it.
Grab our nuggets.
Do you want to try the same one?
Yeah, I think we do. Which one do you want to do first?
Up to you.
Sweet chili.
Going for that sweet.
Thank you for Dustin. Thank you to Dustin for driving through in McDonald's early AF this morning and going into the speakerphone.
Can I get 2 of the BTS meals?
Anyway, here is the dunked in the sauce, sweet chili.
Tink.
That is awesome.
Oh, tastes like Asian zing from Buffalo Wild Wings, but zingier.
Hit with like a citrusy kind of flavor first.
Yeah. Interesting.
Really citrusy. It gets a little bit better. You get a little bit of a spicy barbecue kind of flavor to it, but yeah, it's really kind of sweet. Not quite what I expected, but not bad. Not bad.
Now we're gonna go ahead and try the Cajun sauce.
Oh, and this one actually has a flame on it, so I'm assuming
it doesn't smell spicy. The other one smelled way spicier.
Are you ready?
Had a fire on the packaging.
I like that. Oh, I like that a lot.
Get the Cajun sauce.
Oh, the Cajun sauce. That's the way to go. That is creamy. That is flavorful. That is. Hold on a second. I want to get a little bit more of that.
The heat comes later. Back of the throat. But it's good.
Now okay.
Oh my god.
It's a delayed reaction.
Yo, that sauce is good.
But it is. I'm starting to
clear the sinus.
Clear the sinuses a little bit.
That's real good. That's nice and smooth, like wasabi.
All right, there we go. All right, let me move it there. I'll put us back up. That was
got the
great.
bag, Rocha.
Oh, do you have to go? Like, is this everywhere? Like, could I go in San Diego where I'm at now and go to my McDonald's and say I need the BTS meal, or is that only in certain big cities?
No, it should be in any and all McDonald's. I did read somewhere that you might want to try to go to a corporate McDonald's versus a franchise McDonald's. I don't know how you find that out. Maybe you can go onto the McDonald's, I don't know, website and
I
figure out
imagine
which
the
one's
website.
which.
Right?
Yeah, I imagine so too. The one we went to. Okay, so let's talk about why the BTS army in the States are disappointed with this McDonald's meal. Because it's essentially the meal, even though they do give you this beautiful purple bag, with the BTS purple logo on here. It is just a set of 10-piece chicken nuggets and a medium drink, medium fries, and obviously the sauces are special. I'm hearing that some of the McDonald's, they won't give you just the sauce, even if you order the 10-piece chicken meals. Like, you have to say BTS meal in order for them to like give that to you. Some locations are being strict about it. Some have no idea what's happening. Like, I've seen many TikToks. Yeah, they're like, what's a BTS meal? We don't have that. So what's disappointing is that we were all supposed to. So the international, McDonald's, basically everywhere else in the state, everywhere else in the world, for their BTS meal, the packaging is not just the bag, it's the chicken nuggets case, which I think I sent you a picture in that link. There's a purple box for the nuggets, there's the drink cups, there's purple McFlurry, there's all this other stuff, and all we have, and it just comes regular, so the only packaging we have is the bag. So a lot of the fans are really kind of disappointed. Like, I woke up and I drove to 4 different McDonald's, and half of them didn't know what I was talking about. The other half didn't even have the bag, so they just got the regular McDonald's bag. Like, at least ours came with it, and they actually didn't put our food in this. They actually put it on the side, like all folded up and nice, pristine, because I think they knew. But yeah, the rollout was not as smooth. It was not smooth like butter.
Wow. Oh, wow. That's a good. Oh, Jesus. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna let you have that dad joke. I like it.
Sorry, I had to.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I mean, this seems like something that some people would be a part of, but some people wouldn't like that much, and maybe some stores would have an issue with. So I'm not surprised that not everybody knows about it overall. So, but it looks. I don't know. If I was a BTS fan, I think I'd be happy about it overall. And let me bring up the international packaging that you're talking about, because the look of it is certainly distinct. Right there. Take a look at there. It is. There's the purple. Yeah, nice and purple and all of that. So certainly on brand, if nothing else, and that's what everything is nowadays, on brand. So you gotta love.
We didn't get any of that here. So that sucked. That was a letdown, and there were no extra like promo shirts. I thought there would be photo cards or something like extra incentive, because the meals were expensive. I don't know when McDonald's got so expensive, but if you go back and look at the video, you don't have to do that right now. But each meal was like 8 and change. And I'm like, how did 10-piece chicken? I remember when it was 6. Am I that old? I remember when chicken nuggets was
expensive. It's like $10 for a meal at McDonald's. I remember when it was $6. You're right. You're absolutely and you would supersize for $1 more. That's it. Remember the
bucket of fries that they had for $1? God, those were the days. And now it's like, they asked us how many sauces we would like. Like, do you want just this? And Dustin's like, what does it matter if you just, I was like, because corporate wants you, because we went to a corporate McDonald's just in case. I think it's like 5 or 6 nuggets to 1 sauce. So if you order a 10-piece, they'll give you 2. But if you order the 6-piece or the kids meal 4, then you get just the 1 sauce. So that is why.
Well, it's out there now. It's out there now. Blade GTR says, all I got was the sauces. I didn't get any of the packaging. Gucci Take Kim says, in Canada, we just got the drinks. So there you go. So I guess all over the world, it's different depending on where you're getting those the BTS.
I want to see what they're getting in Korea.
Good
in the Korean McDonald's, like, what do they probably have? Like purple bun, BTS branded on top, like probably some crazy extravagant, like it's pride of South Korea right there.
There you go. Someone tweeted to Wendy and I and show us what packaging you got, in case there's anybody watching who's in Korea. Let us know what packaging it is. We'd love to. We'll bring it up on next week's show as a follow-up for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else, Wendy? Because we got our guest waiting for us to jump into this next section of our show here. So let's do that now. Ladies and gentlemen, please keep sending in your Streamlabs and Super Chats as we go along. And more importantly than anything else, please hit that like button. We want to get to 100 likes as quickly as possible. We got over 100 of you watching us. So please put in that like and give us some love here as we move on to the next section of our show, which is stuff that is coming, that is out now, that we recommend. And we welcome our guest, someone I have not spoken to in quite some time, back when she was wearing a pretty awesome witch hat. But it's been a bit since I've seen her, and I'm excited and very, very honored that she said yes to be our first guest on John and Wendy Explain the World. She's the senior editor over at Collider, and someone I'm very proud to call my friend, someone I really enjoyed getting to know over there, and that is the great Haleigh Fouch. How are you, Haleigh?
Yay, Haleigh!
Oh
my God,
Haleigh.
I haven't seen her face in a year.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, friend.
I didn't know I was your first guest. I'm honored.
No, this is great. We were so happy. We thought of you immediately when we were talking about Cruella, and I was like, we got to get Haleigh. If we can get Haleigh, this would be so much fun to have her come on and talk, because we haven't talked in so long. How are you? How are things? What's the update on your life and the work that's going on in your world? Can you let the people know?
Yeah, things are good, looking up, I'm like gone out in public again. Ooh. Yeah. pretty sweet, vaccinated and living life again. So that's good. I'm still at Collider, senior editoring and doing all the SEO works and data stuff, and that's going pretty well.
Have you been out to a theater yet for screenings? I know that I've been to a couple, and it was weird for me. What, have you gone out? Were you weird going to the screenings, or have you been consistently going kind of whenever the theaters have been open already? Ooh.
I went to, my first one was F9, so it was like the perfect go back to the theater movie.
Yeah.
It was super overwhelming because it wasn't the movie or anything. It was being surrounded by so many people having different conversations. Haven't heard that in over a year. Totally messed me up. But it was a blast. That I went to go see Wrath of Man earlier this week, and that was less crowded, but it was fun. I love it. I'm thrilled to be back in a theater, and my hope is that having not had the option for a year will maybe hopefully make people realize what a special experience it is and maybe revive it a bit.
Yeah. Wendy, have you been back already to see some screenings yourself?
I went to A Quiet Place 2 last night at Cinemark. So I'd never actually even been inside a Cinemark here in the States. The last time I was at a Cinemark was for a TIFF.
Wow.
So I was like, oh, that's right, we have Cinemark here in the States. So we went and saw A Quiet Place 2. Really good movie, solid sequel, and it had a little Q&A afterwards with John Krasinski, moderated by J.J. Abrams.
Nice.
So that was a lot of fun.
That's what JJ's doing nowadays. Okay, running moderates. Okay, that's cool. I like that. I respect it. Yeah, I went to see A Quiet Place down here in San Diego. They had a screening for the critics down here in San Diego, and I was just like Haleigh. I was like overwhelmed by, and it was still like 2 seats of distance between people. Mm-hmm. It was a press only screening with some fans out in the front. But it still felt weird. And even one of the critics tried to sit 1 seat away from me. And I was like, yeah, they said it was 2 seats. If you don't mind moving down. Mm-hmm. I was even weird about it in that way, but it was nice to be back in a theater. And I guess I forgot. I just totally had forgotten what an enjoyable experience it really is. And when I came out of the theater, I was like, yeah, I was wrong thinking people aren't going to want to come back. People want to come back. And the numbers certainly, at least initially, seem to prove that people are going to want to come back. Are you sensing that too, Haleigh?
Yeah, definitely. I felt like, Godzilla vs. Kong was like a pretty firm return, and really, especially since it was also available on streaming, suggested people they wanted to go, because that's, you have the option not to, and it still made a ton of money. Yeah. Another really crazy thing that happened, though, that it's just one of those things you forget and took for granted in, the before times. You guys, yes, you worked with Greg from Collider. Lovely man. When I was at Wrath of Man the other night, I was leaving the theater and I was like, oh man, that dude looks so much like Greg. And then I didn't think anything about it. And then we realized the next day that we were in the same theater. Like, remember running into people?
What's that like? Yeah, because you have to, you have to look at everybody like this. Like, is that who I think it is?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. And then you want to yell their name, but you're muffled a little bit.
Right. And then you're like, you don't want to go up to someone who just happens to resemble your friend during a pandemic and try to shake their hand. You just you can never be sure.
Oh
They're
my
like,
God,
no,
it's
6
so good.
feet.
So good to see you. Oh my God, no.
The rejects were at the screening that I was at last night too.
Cool.
So it was like a nice, like just like probably the loudest people in the theater, but it was all before the trailers even played, so I'm sure it was fine. And everybody was like 3 seats away from each other, so they blocked, and then it was every other row. So it was very limited seating in this one. I was comfortable, and I think everybody had concession, but I didn't hear anybody eating because it was a quiet place too. So I think people were afraid to crunch their popcorn a little bit too loud.
Yeah, no surprise. I put mine down. And I did have a moment. I don't want to reveal too much, but I did have a moment where once again, just like in the first movie, I just started looking at the corner of the screen because I didn't want to be scared out of my mind. The bottom corner of the screen, because I was like, I know it's going to scare the hell out of me. I don't want to look up. So Krasinski accomplished that twice with me. So, and I loved both movies, but I'm driving up on Tuesday to see F9 at the TCL Chinese. I think it's still called the Chinese. I'm going to go and see it there. And so that'll be weird to be back in LA for the first time in a while to see it and see how many people show up. But if that's the one, I mean, that's a place to enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? So F9. So I'm looking forward to that and seeing. But we asked Haleigh to come on and talk about the film that came out today and is there for people to buy on streaming on Disney Plus as well. Disney Plus, I guess, streaming there. And that is Cruella, the new one starring Emma Stone, kind of in the vein of Maleficent, re-exploring from a new point of view a legendary villain in the history of Disney. And Emma Thompson is in this. Mark Strong is in this. Paul Walter Hauser is in this as well. Haleigh, what did you think of Cruella? I guess just get straight to the point. What did you think of Cruella overall? And what are your feelings when you look at this film after you came out of the theater?
I just it's similar to when I tried to review F9. I have critical thoughts about the film, but I just had such a good time that they kind of fade away a little bit, mostly, not everything. But, we talked about Cruella on the Witching Hour today, and I'm going to try not to do it to you guys because I must have said it's a blast 400 times in 10 minutes. Just take it out every time you hear me say blast.
Okay. All right. I'll do that. I got something here.
Little air horn beep beep.
Let's take it. I mean, it's an interesting approach, and we're not going to spoil it here, ladies and gentlemen. So if anybody's worried about that, we're not going to spoil it. It's kind of a non-spoiler discussion. But the story, as laid out by the trailer, is pretty much, seeing her from her birth, from her time as a young child, into how she becomes Cruella de Vil in that journey. What really stood out to you as you were watching Emma Stone in this movie, and also Emma Thompson as they as they perform their roles in the film?
I thought they were wonderful, and across the board, obviously they are the focus, and rightly so, but across the board, I think the cast elevates everything. There's such amazing performances going on, and they make things work that kind of shouldn't, especially Emma Stone. And again, we're not spoiling it, but from the trailers, there's a transformation in her character that I think on the page doesn't necessarily work, but she totally sells it. I did have a blast watching her have
there it is.
You just you can tell that the actors are enjoying themselves.
Yeah.
And it makes it really fun. Emma Thompson is just amazing. I am going to, for the rest of my life, try to channel the energy she brings to certain moments of strength, and just, you cannot mess with that lady. I adore her. And what really stood out to me, because I'm me, is how dang good they looked in all those incredible costumes Jenny Bevan designed. Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think, Wendy? What did you think about the movie? And as Haleigh spoke about the costumes and then the performances of both the Emmas.
I absolutely loved the film. I was one of the people who, for origin films, I'm especially for villains, we don't need them, and they're bad because they're bad. They made certain choices that led them down this road, and now this is where they are, this is where they stay. And I don't ever feel the need to watch a movie to better understand where they came from and sympathize with the character, especially for Cruella, who kills puppies and skin them for fashion. Okay, so I didn't feel like I needed that's why you like certain villains, is because they're bad to the bone. And I don't really feel like that this movie in particular really took that away for me. I thought it was an interesting way to tell the story, and I love the combination of the two Emmas on screen, as well as Jasper and Horace. I loved all the scenes that they were in. I think they stole a lot of the scenes, and I feel like this, even though it's a Cruella film, you know, she is the title character, I feel like this is very much an ensemble film. To not spoil anything for anybody, but there's, you know, various characters, even if they don't have a big scene or anything like that, or a big monologue, doesn't mean that they don't serve a purpose in this film. Some of the things, the kind of like, I think what Haleigh is saying, some of the critical stuff, I felt like one particular character where I felt like it was kind of put in out of sheer convenience for me. But I might have to rewatch the movie again, but I was a little disappointed with the direction they approached with this specific character. That aside, this movie knocked it out of the park for me. I think I wanted to see them, you know, knock it out of the park with fashion, and they did. Yeah. It was a lot of fun. The use of sound, the soundtrack, the music was phenomenal in this movie. Like I downloaded the soundtrack immediately when it became available on Spotify. So now it's on my like playlist when I go and do like walk the dog and stuff like that. That's what I'm listening to. I had a great time, and I can't stop thinking about who would win in a fight. Emma Thompson as the Baroness in this movie, or Meryl Streep in Devil Wears Prada. I don't know. I don't know who. I kind of want to lean towards Meryl Streep, but I don't know. Emma Thompson's going to give her a run for her money.
I'm giving it to Baroness.
Yeah,
I am. I think she would kick her ass.
She's got that. Not to give anything away, but she's got that whistle. And when you see the movie, you'll know what I mean. When she's got that whistle, that gives her a little bit of advantage here. Yeah, I am not the demographic for this movie in any way, shape, or form. Yet I thoroughly 1,000% loved it. I really did. Yes, is it a bit overlong? It's 2 hours and 15 minutes. It did at times feel like we were getting some scenes that seemed to repeat in terms of the message you were supposed to get from these scenes. But I think the film buys that kind of leeway with you because it's so beautifully done. The cinematography is incredible in the film. The sets are so realistic. The costumes just blow you away. And you're right, the cast is just stellar. Emma Thompson, that is a queen. When people say, "Oh, yes, queen," that's who they mean. That's a queen. She is absolutely a queen and so powerful in her role. And it's great to see her embrace this part of herself every once in a while. What's the film with Mindy Kaling last night or whatever it was? She was. That's the same kind of energy, right? This kind of no F's given energy that you love to see, that you know Emma has inside of her. And so it's great to see her embrace that again in another role. And, you know, Emma Stone, I've been kind of not sure about Emma Stone over the last few years because, I'm not a big La La Land person. I know she was good in it, but I wanted to see something else. And this film, I shot into the stratosphere with my appreciation for her abilities. And she, as you said, Haleigh, she seemed to really be having a good time and relishing a role that she could really sink her teeth into as an actress, and it totally shows. And I think Craig Gillespie did a really nice job directing this film as well and taking you through this. And he's a name that a lot of people need to be paying attention to more and more as he builds more and more films into his resume. The only thing I dig it on, other than the length a little bit, was the Anita Darling character, right? I felt like, I'm not going to give away too much, just felt like there was more we could have done here. And maybe that's something they can re-examine down the road when they do these live action films. Any other final words on this one overall, Haleigh?
Yes. I also, because like you were saying, it is such an ensemble film, Wendy. I want to point out how incredible Mark Strong is with what on the page seems very light or simple kind of his character, and he's just wonderful. And also John McCrea, who plays Artie, the guy who runs the vintage shop.
Yes.
What a freaking find. He's mostly known for his stage work and has very limited screen work, and he's such a scene stealer.
He's gonna be in that Everyone's Talking About Jamie.
Yeah, so he originated that role on stage, and that's his sort of claim to fame. But really, screen is pretty new for him. Yeah. Aside from some one show and a couple bit parts, I I can't wait to see more from him. And that character is really interesting because it is Disney will probably never confirm, but definitely like a step forward in queer representation.
True.
Especially with that casting, as he's a very out and proud individual who himself said in interviews, like, it depends on who you ask, but I'll confirm that character is queer.
Yes.
Don't ask Disney. But I love that character. I love his energy with Emma Stone. I would watch like a whole movie of them being fabulous and putting on shows and stuff.
Yeah.
And I disagree a little bit about the soundtrack. I almost thought it was distracting how many needle drops there were, but it is a phenomenal playlist. Like,
yes.
I will listen to it a lot, but in the film, it was I just kept thinking, my goodness, what was the music budget?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, because they paid for all that.
Yes. Yeah, there were a number of songs, right, that you've heard. Yeah, I mean, because of the punk aesthetic, you wanted to kind of have that throughout. And I think they really accomplished that. And I'm saying that for a Disney film. I think they really accomplished this punk aesthetic that they were going for. And that's the one thing that I was like, because not that I was a punk. Trust me, I wasn't. But I lived through that time. So I know what that experience was like. And I knew people who were into punk at that time when it was big. So that seeing it through the lens of the film worked really, really well. And you mentioned the cast, Paul Walter Hauser, yet another great performance. And by the way, and Wendy, I'm never apologizing for my Cockney accent as the conductor, because that was what I sounded like. And I'll never apologize if he could be a feature film doing that accent at a Universal Studios park. But I also think Joel Fry did a great job. I loved him in Yesterday. And so to see him embrace a role that because in Yesterday he plays like a guy who's not that smart. There's a conscience to him. He's almost like the conscience of the trio. And I love having him be a part of this. And it's a great, slice of the movie that he carves out for himself that I really enjoyed seeing. And I hope I see more from him going forward, because he seems like a pretty damn good actor in these films.
Yeah, and that's a tough role to carry when you're in a film surrounded by the biggest characters you could ever imagine, and he has to, like you said, be sort of the conscience, the grounded one, and he totally pulls it off. Yeah. I also cannot sign off without pledging my undying allegiance to the dog Wink. Come on.
So cute.
Unbelievable. Aggressively cute.
It hurts how cute it is.
Yeah.
It hurts. The dog stole the movie. Yes, it's not Emma's movie.
No surprise.
It's not so-and-so's movie. It's the dog's Wink's movie.
Wink Hive is active.
Yes.
I love it.
I need wink emojis ASAP.
Absolutely.
Well, we got to wrap up here in a few minutes, so we appreciate Haleigh taking the time to hang out with us. But Haleigh, this is the section of the show where we talk about what we recommend or what's coming up soon. Is there something you're watching now, or a TV show that you're into, or a movie that you just watched that you'd recommend to people who are, kind of respect your taste and you can guide them into something they might enjoy this weekend?
Oh, that's it. I'm trying to think like what really resonated with me lately. Well, you can read my review on Collider. It's not this weekend, but I had the time of my life with F9. Absolutely a great film to see in theaters and have fun with.
That means because I know Haleigh likes these movies. So if you like it, that means I'm in 1,000% on Tuesday night. I can't wait. All right, sorry.
It is not just a film that's made for Fast and Furious fans. It is possible that there is no bigger Fast and Furious fan than the film F9. Like it is so filled with love for the franchise.
I can't wait.
Yeah. This is like probably not a pick for everybody. It's definitely not a pick for everybody. I liked Spiral, the new Saw film with Chris Rock. It's not perfect, but I really enjoyed myself. I would say don't take yourself too seriously and expect this to be like Get Out or something with its social messaging. It's not swinging that hard. It's a Saw movie. It's trying to be a Saw movie.
Right.
But I really enjoyed it. It was great to see Chris Rock having, again, like, not to repeat myself, but he's clearly having fun making this movie. He did this because he wanted to. He liked the franchise. He thought it would be a funny thing to do. And I enjoyed that energy. I'm trying to think of something on streaming since not everybody's comfortable going to theaters yet.
Yeah.
I dug again. It's not a total home run, but I dug the survival thriller Oxygen that's on Netflix from Rocha with Melanie Laurent.
Okay.
That's a solid, fun sci-fi survival thriller.
Okay. Awesome. Did you see the Friends reunion, or do you have no interest in that?
I didn't have interest, but I did watch it.
That was a great answer.
One word for that. One word.
Fine.
Okay, fine. There you go. All right, Wendy, is there anything you recommend real quick?
Oh, that was so great. I missed you, Haleigh. Oh, fine. I haven't watched it. I haven't had time. But I've been diving into the little episodes of season 2 for Netflix's Love, Death, and Robots. These are little shorts. Really good. I think I've only gotten through 3. I saw Automated Service, Snow in the Desert, Pop Squad, and Ice. So I saw 4. So I think I only have like 3 or 2 left to go, but they're all really good, and I can't decide if I like season 1 better or season 2. But these are really interesting. To me, it feels like kind of little, very short bursts of Black Mirror, but via mostly animated, form. So I really like it because it makes you think, especially Automated Service. And I'm like looking at my RoboVac, and I'm like, well, I'm tossing that in the trash.
That was my favorite one.
That one's really, really good. And the dog is really cute.
Yes.
The dog is really cute. It reminds me of my dog. So yeah, that's my recommendation. I know it came out a little while ago, but if you haven't had a chance to watch it, because I know there's 50 million things on all the streaming platforms all the time, go ahead and give yourself, even if you have just 20 minutes to spare, you can pop out at least 2 episodes.
Yeah. All right. I echo just about everything everybody has said here. I saw A Quiet Place Part 2 and enjoyed the hell out of it. So I'd recommend that if you're going to go to the theater this weekend for Memorial Day, ladies and gentlemen. And I know it hasn't been getting the best reviews, but I liked MODOK. I've been enjoying the hell out of MODOK. I know it's Patton Oswalt and it's a distinct kind of weird kind of humor, but I like that he's got a Latino wife and Latino kids. And I'm a big fan of this kind of approach to this. And I like the animation. So for me, MODOK worked. It may not be for everybody, as you see from some of the reviews, but I liked it. So I recommend it. Since I'm part of this show, throwing out my recommendations, I would throw that out there. And I'm still working through Resident Alien. I'm almost done with Resident Alien. I'm loving Alan Tudyk in that role. Does the show 1000% work? Some things, but it's such a cute show that I forgive it a lot because I really like what's happening there. So if you haven't tried that one out, it's on Peacock. Go and enjoy yourself. It's quick 10 episodes, I think. And some good cast members in that one as well. And a lot of actors I've never seen before doing really great work, and some good Native American influence as well on that show. So highly recommend it.
That's a good tool. I second that.
Yeah. Oh, it's true. Good. I mean, I feel good about that. Good. I like the Haleigh seal of approval. It makes me feel like I'm on the right path. Yeah. Haleigh, thank you so much for joining us. Please, it's always great to see you. Please let people know where they can find you and everything you got going on.
Yeah, so you can find my work on Collider. You can find The Witching Hour wherever you prefer to listen to your podcasts. You can find me on Twitter at this situation. And on Instagram, I'm Haystack McGroovy.
Oh, all right, there you go. Thanks so much. Please follow everything Haleigh's got going on. It's great to see you, Haleigh. Take care.
Bye.
Talk to you soon.
Bye. That was awesome. That was Haleigh Fouch stopping in to hang out with us for a little bit. So great to see you. I
love her so much.
I know, me too.
I miss her.
Let's follow up with what you've got. We talked about what about coming soon, Wendy? What do we got coming soon here? You got some Avengers news, I think.
Yeah. So this is not so much so in movies and stuff like that, because we know as theaters open up, we're going to have these coming soon lists getting pretty stacked in the coming weeks. So I wanted to throw something a little bit different in there to kind of cleanse the palate before we dive into the movie waves. But Avengers Campus opening soon, next. Hold on, today's the 28th. So next Friday when we do the show, it'll be opening day for Avengers Campus. It's located in Disney California Adventures, and I believe and I know we're ahead of California lifting its mask mandates and indoor capacity and stuff like that. So I think this is if you can get a ticket at Disneyland and check it out, do it now, as opposed to before June 15th, I think is the date. So you can, if you want to experience less crowds. But I'm very excited for this. not only you get to see and ride the web slinger ride, you get to go and eat food from Pim's Test Kitchen. And we all remember that shawarma scene from Avengers, the first movie. So they actually have a shawarma stand, a shawarma shop that you can go get shawarma with your friends. So I think that's a lot of fun. Obviously, the merch and just seeing the different lands, because they do have like a Doctor Strange Sanctum Sanctorum, like Ancient Sanctum area. I'm not sure if there's any sort of activations or if that's where you meet Doctor Strange. I don't know, but if you log onto the Disneyland app, you can actually see kind of the over the top view of the map. And as you enter the Avengers campus, you can actually see that the entrance, the floor area, is shaped like an arc reactor.
Oh wow!
And I don't know, the map has a glowing blue. I haven't been there yet, and I haven't seen anybody post about it. So I don't know if at night they turn on some lights and it lights up blue. That'd be hella cool. I'm not sure, but I'm just really excited to kind of see Avengers Campus. They've been working on this for a long time. They've been dropping little hints. If you go into Disney California Adventure, you saw, I think by Tower of Terror, what used to be called Tower of Terror, now it's Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Outbreak. There's a little, what are those holes on the ground where people go in and fix the sewers?
The man
little, like a smaller one, but it's set where all the plants are, and it had the Avengers A on it.
Wow.
So that was for years ago. So I think they knew that this was going to be a thing. So I can't wait. I have a couple of cast member friends who have been assigned to Avengers Campus working in there. So I can't wait to go. And hopefully on the day that I go, I will see them. But I'm going to go on. So they open on the 4th, and Dustin and I are going on the 8th. So I will bring back a report and let you guys know about the crowd, the food, the ride, everything, the merch.
That'd be fantastic. Some pictures here I've found of this of the campus, a little bit, kind of an overall look on it here. There's the Avengers stuff, which is pretty stellar.
The Queen Jet on top there.
Yeah, that's right. It's pretty awesome. And look at this. There he goes. There's the arc reactor you're talking about. There, close, and you see the Stark area and the A. And then maybe this is a couple of your friends here who are dressed up and ready to go. And it looks like they're wearing the garb of Doctor Strange, like the people who do the sorcery with Doctor Strange there. So certainly a great immersive experience yet again. I'm excited. At some point I will be going to that. I got to hit that Star Wars land first, then I'll go to that. But certainly got to start making some more of these.
Get your lightsaber, Rocha.
Yeah, I got to get my lightsaber, for God's sake. Come on. I got to get my lightsaber and make it happen for sure. All right. One last, let's wrap up there. One last super chat came in here. RJ said, another great show. Thanks all.
RJ, thank you.
Thank you, RJ. Great to see you. And let me see if we got any more Streamlabs. No, but 3 people signed up or subscribed to the channel. So thank you very much for doing that. If you were one of those 3 people, we appreciate it madly. All right, Wendy, another fun show, please. Thank you so much for doing it with me. Where can they find you and everything you got going on?
You can find me on social media. So Twitter, Instagram at Wendy Lee Zaney, on YouTube over at the movie. Nope, that's wrong. Movie Couple. And I am streaming on Twitch on Sunday. So it's just twitch.tv/Wendy Lee Zaney.
Awesome. And you can find me at The Rocha Says on Twitter and on Instagram, everything I got going on. As I just said, please remember to subscribe down below if you haven't yet. Got so much great content coming. The channel is slowly changing and morphing. More entertainment news, more of those pre-produced videos. More. I dropped the trailer I dropped my review for Cruella. You can watch that. It's up there now. A quick 10 minutes. I'll be dropping my review for Quiet Place Part 2 tomorrow morning. And then maybe some reactions. I did shoot a trailer reaction for Old. So maybe I'll be dropping that as well tomorrow. So look for all of that. And thank you all so much for taking a chance to hang out with me and Wendy every Friday as we do this show going forward. We will be here. So come on and hang out with us more and more. Please don't be shy about sending in your comments. The chat was lively as hell. So thank you very much. All right. Take care of yourselves. Be well. And we'll talk to you next time on another brand new episode of John and Wendy Explain the World.
See you next week.